previously aired shows or what's happening right now. And we're live on Facebook, The Imaging, and we're live on YouTube. We're getting a nice response to that. Dr. Jensen, too bad you're not in studio because all we can do is show an image of you, but if you were in studio, you'd be on TV.
Oh, dear. I'm glad I'm out here.
Oh, dear.
I don't like the camera.
Oh, I love the camera.
Good for you.
I like the edge.
I'm camera shy.
No, I like the edge. We used to do a segment on CBS, every Monday morning, and I thought, oh, gee, they're going to have makeup artists there for. No, I had to do it myself. I taught myself. I went to the mall, went to the high-end cosmetic salons, and I taught them asked them to teach me how to put makeup on. I had to do it myself, but I love the edge.
Sure.
I love TV. I love that edge. So, yeah, if you ever come to Tampa, we'll get you on.
Okay.
So, is it true that we have 3 brains? Is that really true? I thought that one on my shoulders was the only brain I had.
I guess technically speaking, and in our world of medical vocabulary, I would call them communication centers. There's a lot of information out there right now, as you know, on the brain and the gut. And I'll just kind of summarize that. But what I really want to just kind of show is how they connect, not only with mental health disorders in general, but in cognition and learning. And the gut and mental health, you probably had, different people on your show talking about the microbiome.
Absolutely.
The bacteria in the gut. And research is providing a lot of new science right now on how imbalances in the gut contribute to different mental health disorders, whether it's anxiety or depression, anger, hostility. And actually, there's just been, I think it was last year, there was a really small study done with people, women, I think it's mostly women, with Alzheimer's disease and treating them with probiotics.
Yeah.
And it was a double-blinded, small, but they were finding that treatment with probiotics did improve mental health performance. But the part that I find really interesting, because I guess we could say the gut brain is not really old news, but older news, is the influence of the heart on mental health. And it's a two-part explanation, but what they're finding is increased blood pressure causes damage to the structure and function of the brain. And researchers have found that high blood pressure in people as young as 40. So this is getting worse. How
so? What's the mechanism of action for the destruction or the deleterious effect on the neurons in the brain?
I would say just that added pressure in the brain. Because, they call hypertension the silent killer. You don't know what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you develop that amount of pressure in the vessels, I can only hypothesize here because they don't elaborate what the mechanism is. But I would imagine if you've got pressure building up in any vessel, that could cause damage to the sensitive connection points.
Could it also be, too, as part of the mechanism of action, that the high blood pressure is a reflection of the arteries being somewhat occluded or inflexible, and I'm thinking specifically of the carotid arteries, and then you end up with cerebral vascular deficiency on top of it. In other words, not enough blood to the brain.
Exactly. It could be both in some cases, right? Depending on the physiology of the individual.
Mm-hmm. So high blood pressure is not just about the heart being diseased.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No, it also affects the brain, which we wouldn't have thought previously. And in Lancet, they reported that people with hypertension showed an accelerated brain aging and decreased cognitive function and increased risk for dementia. So we've got the influence of the heart on the brain, and we talked about a little bit about the gut on the brain. And more recently, I was interested to see this. There was an analysis of 14 trials that showed that probiotics and even fermented foods significantly reduce blood pressure in hypertensive patients, which I found really interesting.
Repeat that again, please. Repeat that.
Yeah. there was analysis of 14 controlled trials that have shown that probiotics and fermented foods significantly reduce blood pressure in hypertensive patients.
Wow.
And as a result, scientists are suggesting that gut bacteria form a very complex system that maintain blood pressure, and that probiotics have hypotensive effects.
So if I selected 100 psychiatrists, and if I selected,
they would probably lock me up for saying that. Yeah.
Would they laugh at you?
Probably.
No, would they laugh at you if you said gut bacteria influence psycho-emotional health and vitality? And would they?
I don't know if they could. They might try. Mm-hmm. They might try right now.
Do you think 100 psychologists would be more amenable to that message?
I think. Let's just put it this way: they could try to smirk at it, but I think there's enough science out there now on the influence of the gut bacteria on the brain and mental emotional health that they might start to laugh, but then have to take it back.
Well, we'll see. I asked that question for a reason. I'll explain when we come back.
Feeling tired after...
Almost 52% of men experience erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia. If you've had challenges with virility, sexual health, or low energy, Body Vigor's Alpha Extension may be the answer for you. Body Vigor's Alpha Extension can help revitalize your alpha male and extend your love. Our formula is one of the highest quality nutraceuticals available, formulated to support the processes involved in promoting a healthy male sex drive, energy, and stamina. Alpha Extension has 2 powerful herbal blends: Virilomax, which focuses on male sexual health, and T-Pump Activator, which helps balance your testosterone levels. Revitalize your alpha male with Body Vigor's Alpha Extension. Exclusively available on Amazon.com.
to Let's Talk Nutrition. Dr. Karen Jensen's my guest. She's an educator for Natural Factors. I'm talking about this communication link among the brain, the heart, and the gut, moving in hierarchical order from top down. This is interesting conversation. Everything is interconnected. Systems theory, general systems theory would suggest that. And everything is interdependent, meaning that if you change any element in one part of the system, it affects every other element or component in the system, whether that be a family system, an organic anatomical system, or a chemical system of some sort, whatever it may be. There's independence, dependence, and interdependence. Dr. Jensen, welcome back. So they are interdependently connected then. What is it at Natural Factors that can bring balance to these three systems of communication in the body that such that we can help prevent or maybe ameliorate some of the side effects of high blood pressure, faulty connection between those three systems, and leading to dementia, Alzheimer's specifically?
Well, ideally, yeah, I think what you said is ideally, in an ideal world, to prevent. Natural Factors, in the three brain line, there's several products, and one of the ones that I look at as kind of the foundation is called 3 Brains Total. And a lot of people are taking omega-3 fatty acids and probiotics separately, maybe even an antioxidant like curcumin or grapeseed extract. 3 Brain Total contains curcumin, which is a potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It protects each of the heart, each of the brain, what I'll call brains or communication system. It helps with the brain.
I like the metaphor of communication, by the way.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to step on you.
No, communication systems. I agree.
No, I got that from you. You alluded to that, and I went for my natural instinct is to go for the communication, given my PhDs in communication. And that they are communication systems, aren't they?
They are communicating within each other, either independently or amongst each other. And great, we talked about stress and how stress causes inflammation, and so grapeseed extract is also in the 3 Brains Total, and it prevents free radical damage, which, indirectly prevents inflammation, and and free radical damage contributes to aging and heart disease and memory decline. And 3 Brains Total also contains phosphatidylserine, which is more specific for the brain and neurotransmission and nerve cell growth, and it also protects from age-related memory decline. Now, it's not like, you can go to the store and you can buy 5 or 6 products, but 3 Brains Total is one little packet with each of these ingredients. So it has 5 ingredients: probiotics, which we've talked about how important they are for 3 brain health, the antioxidants, the omegas, and phosphatidylserine. And when I was looking at this, I thought, geez, I'm taking 4 out of the 5 separately. I was taking everything but phosphatidylserine, which I probably should have because of my family history with dementia. So I think 3 Brains Total is a very cost-effective, simple supplement to take to help not only prevent, but ideally, improve function of each of these 3 systems on a daily basis.
Can you explain? I dealt with this with my mom. She didn't have coronary artery disease. She was 92. But she did have her lungs, the vascular system in her lungs were not functioning well.
The artery disease is the hardening of the arteries?
Hardening of the arteries.
Hardening of the arteries.
Get plaque buildup. And they had a devil of a time coordinating her heart with her kidneys and trying to keep things in balance. There's a connection there, too. Isn't that interesting?
Between the heart and the kidney, absolutely.
And they were doing it with medication, and then after a while it stops working, and then she passed away.
Exactly.
But it's everything is so. We tend
everything is
I know.
we tend to just sort of slice off different pieces and ship them off to different
Compartmentalize was the word I was grappling for.
That's right. Looking at sort of the multi-dimensional being and the multi-systems physiology.
Mm-hmm. Is there any other dietary products from natural factors in that 3 brain line that would be of interest to the listener or viewer?
Well, I think what's critical, and I'll just do a little pre-information as to why inflammation, and we've talked about this on other shows, inflammation and stress, but specific to dementia, a research team had found that just one episode of systemic inflammation could be sufficient enough to trigger a more rapid decline in neurological function. And then another research team found that with animals, that when they injected the animals for just 7 days with stress hormones, the amyloid proteins, which is kind of the signature of Alzheimer's disease, increased in the brain by 60%.
Ooh.
7 days.
It leads to amyloid plaquing.
Yeah, the proteins that cause the plaque, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking at inflammation. Not only is inflammation starting to be recognized as one of the causes for dementia, it also is for depression and other mental health disorders. So to take care of the inflammation is really, really important, along with sort of your basic support, as I mentioned, for the 3 communication systems. And there's a new product coming out that people can look for in their local health food store. It should be out in August, I believe, in the U.S. It's called Brain Fix. And it has some very powerful antioxidants. Boswellia is a major anti-inflammatory that's been used for centuries. Again, curcumin. One of my favorite for just increasing cognition is something called Bacopa. It has not only been used to help improve cognition, but to also treat anxiety.
How do you spell that?
Which is Bacopa.
All right, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you again.
Bacopa monnieri. Yeah, it's one of my favorite. It's that one and Boswellia came more to my attention when I was researching for my son. And they were on my radar previously, but they came sort of front and center when I started looking at the research.
And they're found in Brain Fix?
They're found in Brain Fix along with chamomile, and most people think chamomile is a calming agent, but it's known as herbal aspirin. It has very powerful anti-inflammatory properties as well. And some of the most recent information and studies coming out are showing that it's been effective in treating anxiety and depression. And as a lot of people might know out there, either treating people, a loved one with dementia, depression can often be a big part of one of the main symptoms of dementia.
So brain fix, and we'll mention the other 2 when we come back. And this 3 brain line from Natural Factors sold in fine health stores throughout North America. You're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition Coast to Coast.
Are your joints feeling out of date and stiff? Is that old sports injury flaring up? Is your body aching from the daily wear and tear at work? Body Vigor's Joint Ready keeps you at the ready for any joint pain that gets out of line. Unfortunately, as we age, joint pain becomes more common. Body Vigor's Joint Ready can help provide relief so you can continue to go about your day. Our formula contains sulfated forms of glucosamine and chondroitin. Studies show that these sulfated forms are more effective than regular glucosamine bound to hydrochloride. Joint Ready promotes a healthy inflammatory response, facilitates cartilage synthesis, and provides additional antioxidants. Keep your joints at the ready with Body Vigor's Joint Ready, exclusively on Amazon.com.
And welcome back. And here's the LTN health question of the day. And it's a simple question. And you know the answer, even though I didn't give the exact statistic. What would be the sixth leading cause of death in the United States? Would it be A, Alzheimer's, B, heart disease, C, kidney disease? What is the sixth leading cause of death in the United States? A, Alzheimer's, B, heart disease, C, kidney disease. Here's a number to call to win the $25 supplement gift card with the right answer.
You can call us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255.
Dr. Jensen, welcome back. Would you mind if I drifted for a moment on you?
Not at all.
You sure? A lot of guests. You see, you're a little new to the show yet, and when I do something like that, they say, "Uh-oh." Are you familiar with Dr. Neil Barnard?
I've heard the name.
He wrote a book called How to Prevent and Reverse Diabetes. That's one of the books he's written.
Okay.
All right. He's very good. He's an MD. He's very good. He's worth reading. He's sensible. Here's a quote from him, and I just wanted to get your take on it. Quote, "Some foods are fattening. Others are addictive," he says. "Cheese is both. Loaded with calories, high in sodium, packing more cholesterol than steak, and sprinkled with hormones. If cheese were any worse, it would be Vaseline."
Oh.
Close quote. What do you make of his? What do you make of his? Well, dare I say it? Direct criticism of dairy, especially cheese. What do you make of it? I'm curious.
Well, that's a big question. My brain first goes back to, say, countries that cheese is a very big part of their dietary intake, say the Scandinavian countries in particular. And we go back before we had all the processed cheeses and processed dairy products. And I would say I wouldn't have agreed with it back in the day. As long as the cheese is pure, it's been aged. A lot of cheese is fermented for a long time. But today, the process is speeded up. God knows with what chemicals. There's additives, there's color, and yes, if you're not looking for natural cheeses or organic sources, probably is laden with hormones, because hormones are primarily in the fat, and fat is higher in cheese than, say, some of the skim products. So I would say there's truth to that. Some truth to it.
I'm just curious. I didn't want to. I'm not trying to box you in.
But is it similar to Vaseline? No.
Oh, I think he's trying to.
He's exaggerating. Yeah.
To make a point.
But yeah, and I try to encourage people, if they're going to eat cheese, to go more for the goat or sheep's cheese, which is more closer to.
He's making a general criticism of dairy, but I'll implicate you in that conversation some other day. I was just curious what you thought about his cheese comment. Let's go to St. Petersburg, Florida. Joe, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Doc?
Good. How are you, man?
I keep telling you, I love your show, Doc. I listen to it. It's you are, and I heard you on 970 AM.
Yeah, I was on AM Tampa Bay 2 days ago. They were interviewing me.
That's right. I was listening to that. You did a great show on there.
Thank you.
I think you really educated those guys.
I'm trying. They invited me to come back. I'll be doing regular health segments on 970.
Oh, yeah. Definitely you got to go back.
Well, thank you so much. You're kind, man. And you have the wrong answer. I'm sorry.
I told my wife I thought it was going to be Alzheimer's.
Well, you should have gone with your instinct. You normally win, but
Doc.
today you made such nice compliments. I got to tell you, you didn't win the prize. I feel terrible.
That's okay, Doc. Don't worry about it. I'll try again next time.
What are you going to do today, pal?
It was nice talking to you.
What are you going to do today?
My mother-in-law passed away 2 days after Mother's Day.
Oh.
at 96 years old.
Oh.
And, she left us an old table-type clock, and I dropped it off on East Bay, and there's a clock place that does that. I'm going over there right now to pick it up. And
family heirloom. Right. Family heirloom. That's a family heirloom, right?
That's what it is. That's what it is, Doc.
Well,
And,
listen, we love you, Joe. You've been a regular and faithful listener to this show. You're a good person. I've met you in person, and you're a good man. And
hopefully to see you when you make your rounds again.
We're going to be doing I'll be back in stores and doing health fairs. So we'll stay tuned, and Gary was going to get all that information out. And as soon as I get on the other side of all this, come fall, I'll be back in the stores doing health fairs.
Well, Doc, you're an inspiration, I'm telling you, buddy.
Well, no, you're the inspiration. That's why I showed up to work today. I could have stayed home. I was feeling rotten, but I said I got to go to I got to go to work. Got to get my therapy. See, you helped me out. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too, Doc. I pray for you too, buddy.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Tuscaloosa. We have a nice audience there, Gary, in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do well there. Hi, Sarah.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Talking to you. It's it's good.
I love your show. Me and my mother listen to it every morning.
Really?
Yes.
I'm flattered. I'm humbled. And you got the right answer too, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Alzheimer's.
It is. And you born and raised in Tuscaloosa?
No, but born and raised in Alabama.
All right. You know, in Alabama, gravy is a beverage. In other words, that's not a good idea. Gravy is not a beverage.
No.
I'm just kidding. Congratulations. Please, what's your mom's first name?
Kimberly.
My daughter's name. Tell your mom, Kimberly, that I appreciate her listenership and I appreciate you too. And congratulations on winning a $25 supplement gift card.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Dr. Jensen, we appreciate you as well. You're a wonderful guest. You're a wonderful person. I've met you in person, and meeting you made me better.
I really hope that's the case.
No, it's true. I've told others about that at Natural Factors. And my conversation with Dr. Jensen really made a difference for me. When you shared your story with me about your boy. So.
Well, and likewise, you know.
I just wanted you to know.
Reciprocal. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't say anything I don't mean. I mean it. Let's talk nutrition, where your health is your wealth. I'll see you tomorrow.